Hi guys, welcome to 11 Study Room. Today we taken the subject Business Regulation for 6th semester to become students, Bangalore University. Topic we chosen is the Competition Act 2002. Competition Act. Let me know something basic about this Competition Act. The Competition Act 2002 was enacted by the Parliament of India and governs Indian competition law. It replaces the archaic, the Monopolies and Restrictive Trade Practices Act 1969. Under this legislation, the Competition Commission of India was established to prevent the activities that have an adverse effect on competition in India. So, the Competition Act was enacted by Parliament of India in 2002. Before amending the Competition Act in India, whole India was following the Monopolies and Restrictive Trade Practices Act of 1969 in conducting the business in a right way. Okay, so this policy was replaced by the Competition Act of 2002. Okay, when the Competition Act of 2002 is amended, a commission was formed. The commission named Competition Commission of India. This commission is formed to prevent the activities that have an adverse effect on competition in India. Okay, and the second basic thing is it's a tool to implement and enforce competition policy and to prevent and punish anti-competitive business practices by firms and unnecessary government interference in the market. Competition laws is equally applicable on written as well as oral agreement arrangements between the enterprise or persons. This Competition Act acts as a tool for enforcing or implementing any competition policies in India, and it also eliminates the unnecessary government interference in the market or taking any claim by the public. Okay, and next, this competition law is equal to all the firms over any oral agreement or written agreement or arrangements between enterprises or persons. Whatever the cases may be, this competition law is always being equal to all those cases. Okay. The Competition Act 2002 was amended by the Competition Amendment Act 2007 and again the Competition Amendment Act 2009. So when the Competition Act amended in 2002, after that it amended by two times, once in 2007 and once in 2009. Okay, so two times the changes was occurred to this Competition Act of 2002, one on 2007 and another on 2009. So we go to the next. Objectives. When Competition Act of 2002 was established or amended in India, it exists with its certain objectives. Let me look into those objectives, what they are. To prevent practices having adverse effect on competition. Let's look into the second point also. To promote and sustain competition in markets. Okay, I will explain these 2 points with a single example. If any company in India or any outsider company want to establish or established already in India, if they are undertaking any unfavorable marketing decision or malpractices to sustain in the competitive market and they are affecting the competition in India, means on that time this Competition Act, under this legislation, Competitive Commission is formed. This commission take care of those affairs and solve the problems. Okay, so the primary objective to establish Competition Act of 2002 is to prevent practices having adverse effect on competition and to promote and to sustain competition in markets. Let's look into that point. To ensure freedom of trade carried on by other participants in markets in India. Okay. To ensure throughout the country, if any outsiders or any of our country people only is establishing the same kind of business or same nature of the business, they want to get the full freedom and they not want to be affected by the any existed company, so that this to provide that freedom for the establishments this Competition Act was came into force in India. And the last point is for matters connected therewith or incidental thereto. Any matters connected or incidentally happen in competitions. To take care of those matters, this Competition Act was came into force or amended in India in 2002. Okay, these are this objective of Competition Act of 2002. Let we look into the features or duty of Competition Commission. I already said that by the legislation of Competition Act of 2002, a commission was formed and it was named as Competition Commission of India. Okay, now what I am explaining is can be called as silent features of Competition Act of 2002 or duty of Competition Commission of India. Let me look into the first feature of Competition Act or duty of Competition Commission of India. Prohibition of certain agreements which were considered to be anti-competitive in nature. These are the agreements which are presumed to be anti-competitive in nature and it can cause an appreciable adverse effect on competition within India. For an example, where the exclusive dealing will be arise between the customer or the company or between the two companies in the terms of supply and distribution, these factors can affect the competition in the markets adversely. To prohibit that factors, this Competition Act will work on. Okay, let me look into the second point. Prohibition of abuse of dominant position. Here, I can give an example for this. If any company or any enterprises trying to impose unfair or discriminatory conditions or limiting and restricting production of goods or services or indulging in practices resulting in demeanor of market access or through in any other mode of prohibited. Okay, and no, you not understand what I said, but I give an example. But I will explain this point with an example. You already know about the Jio, a telecom industry company. Okay, when Jio was introduced in the market, all the telecom industry was entered to loss. Why? Because of the Jio make an exclusive offer. Daily 1.5 GB of internet is free and unlimited cost up to 1 year. What happened? Other service users were shifted into Jio, and by this action, Jio took the unfair or abusive dominant position of other telecom industries like Airtel, Bharti Airtel or Idea or Vodafone to prohibit those actions like what Jio has done for the other telecom industry. This commission will work on those. To prohibit such action by any company will be prohibited by the Competition Commission of India. Okay. Regulation of combination. Regulation of combination can cause an appreciable adverse effect on competition within the relevant market in India. It is considered to be void because when the combinations were made between the companies will make a more profit, but those companies which are not made the combinations with those company will suffer an adverse effect in their sales and adverse effect in their performance, and there's a chance of losing or there is a chance of enclosing their or liquidating their companies. So to prohibit or to create a regulation on those combinations, this commission was formed and this was the main feature of Competition Act of 2002. And the final one is interest. Uh, Interest means the Competition Commission of India undertake the responsibility of creating the awareness regarding competition issues or provide the training about competition issues or competition advocacies were being undertaken. It works as an interest to provide or undertaking a competition advocacy, awareness and training about the competition issues in India. Okay, these are the main features or duty of Competition Commission of India. Definitions. There are some definitions we need to be known before going the depth to the chapter. The first definition is acquisition. According to section 2 of A, acquisition means directly or indirectly acquiring or agreeing to acquire. What they are agreeing to acquire or they are acquiring directly or indirectly means the basic 2 points are there. One is shares, voting rights, or assets of an enterprise. If they are not acquiring this, there is another clause. Control over management or control over assets of any enterprise. So, the totally acquisition means they are acquiring or agreeing to acquire the shares or voting rights or assets of an enterprise, or they are trying to control over the management or trying to control over the assets of an enterprise. Okay, this is the meaning of the acquisition. If you don't remember the section name, just write with their meanings. When they ask for define acquisition, it's enough. They will give 1 mark definitely and no problem with it. If you remember the sections, it's too good. You go with the mentioning the section names and you will get the full marks when they ask for the definitions. And the second definition is agreement. According to section 2 of D, agreement includes any arrangements or understanding or action in concert. What action in concert then? This is again in the two terminologies we can define the agreement. One is whether or not such agreement, understanding or action is formal or in writing. When there is the existence of any action with formal notations or where there is an existence of written documents, it can be considered as agreement. Or else there's another terminology to define or to know what is meant by agreement is. Let me look into the second clause. Whether or not such agreement, understanding or action is intended to be enforceable by legal proceedings. In the first point, in the first terminology, what they're trying to say, there should be an understanding or there should be an action which is to be undertaken formally or they should be in writing. Anything you make, it should be in writing. Okay, it can be called as agreement, or there is another terminology to consider. It is an agreement. What means it should be in the understanding format and any action is mentioned in the agreement is intended to be enforceable by legal proceeding. Legal proceeding means as per the law, under the law or under the acts. Okay, when these two terminologies or if any one of these two terminologies satisfying, then it is called as an agreement according to section 2 of P. Okay, agreement means, I will make it simple, there should be understanding or there should be action in formal or there should be in writing. Okay, this is the first terminology. In the second terminology, there should be understanding or any action is intended, it should be enforceable by law or legal proceedings. Keep in this to mind, action in formal in writing or action is intended to be enforceable by legal proceedings. These are the two key points to remember with the agreement. Let me go. Next definitions. Cartel. According to section 2 of C, cartel includes an association of producers, sellers, distributors, traders or service providers who, by agreement among themselves, limit, control or attempt to control the production, distribution, sale or price of or trade in goods or provision of services. Okay, I will explain this definition with a simple example. A cartel includes containing an association where several people form an association with several interests. What these people do means they regulate the policies with the concerned matters with the purpose they exist. Okay, for example, APMC. APMC is existed to promote the interest of the farmers. If the APMC has fixed the price, the farmer has for an example, if a farmer grown a crop onion, if a farmer grown onion and he coming to sell those onion in APMC. In the APMC yard, the farmer should sell the onion to be 20 rupees per kg. The APMC makes a note means the farmer should sell on 20 rupees per kg only. If is not selling, it is against the APMC laws or it will be considered as punishable offences. So the cartel means and is acts as a regulatory authority to form or to take control of the one of the situations. Okay, it not will be limited to the APMC and locally with photo studios. So you are seen with the photo studio, they will be registered under the photography association. The photography association will take care of the photo studio and the regulating any policies regarding the photo studio also. And you can see for the retail stores, so there will be retail store association, and you also see with the roadside charts like Panipuri Gobi means they also form an association. They also regulated the price. They also regulate the price for them, and throughout the area they will contain a same rate over the charts. For example, I will take a BL. In the BL, there is a roadside charts means all the charts sellers, chart sellers in BL, they form an association. They regulate the price to overcome the competitions between one and one. So what they fix for per plate of gobi manchuri, the association fix the 40 means all the members who are registered under that association should sell the gobi manchurian for 40 rupees only. If they are selling for more, it will be the against the clause of that association, and that association is called as cartel. Okay, and next, enterprise. According to section 2 of H, enterprise means a person or department of the government who or which is or has been engaged in any activity relating to the production, storage, supply, distribution, acquisition or control of articles or goods or the provision of services. You don't mind for all this. If they ask for the definition, you want to write this definitely, but for a simple note, I will explain the enterprise with a simple note. Enterprise is a place which is engaged with the economic activity. Any economic activity is a place engaged in any economic activity is called as an enterprise. It can be related to the production or storage or supply or distribution. If a place is engaged in any economic activity, it may be the government or it may be the department or it may be the person. It can be called as enterprise. Just a simple note. Just remember what you mean by enterprise means any place engaged in economic activity relating to whatever may be. Production, supply, distribution, that is all you know, you can write it. It's called enterprise. Okay. And next, goods. According to section 2 of I, goods are defined in the Sale of Goods Act 1930 and includes. So goods are defined in the Sale of Goods Act of 1930 and includes whatever three clauses included. First clause is products manufactured, processed or mined. If you have any goods, it should be said as good means. It should certify these 3 points, and the first point is products manufactured, produced or mined. If this point is certified by your good, it will be considered as the goods. or else no. Okay, if your good is not satisfied this, look at the second one. Debentures, stocks and shares after allotment. If any shares or stocks or debentures is allotted for humans, it can be called as goods. If your product is not manufactured, processed or mined means it will be the financial terms. So in the financial terms it coming means if these terms are satisfied, what is there with your share bond is there or a debentures bond is there, that can be called as a goods according to the Sale of Goods Act of 1930. Okay. If this is also not certified, looking at the third point. In relation to goods supplied, distributed or controlled in India, goods imported into India. Okay na? Any goods imported into India, it will be considered as goods or controlled in India or distributed in India, it can be called as goods or anything supplied in relation to goods that can be considered as goods. If any goods certifying any one of these 3 points means it can be called as goods under the Sale of Goods Act of 1930. Remember, first point is it should be products manufactured, processed or mined, either debentures, stocks and shares allotment, either goods imported into India or distributed or controlled in India. Okay, in relation to supply. If any three of these, any in these three, any one of the point is certified by your good, it can be called as goods under the Sale of Goods Act of 1930. Okay. Final definition is person. We already read this in Income Tax 1 in the 5th semester. Person includes an individual, a Hindu undivided family, a company, a firm, an association of person or body of individuals, any corporation established by state or central, anybody corporate, incorporated, a cooperative society. If any of these points is been satisfied, they can be called as person according to income tax, according to section 2 of 1. Okay, and this for this class. Thank you guys. And next part will be on 22nd 4 2020 on 2:58 p.m. Thank you very much.